I never expected that a single encrypted chat message would shatter the comfortable cadence of my everyday life, propelling me into a world I had only ever glimpsed in fleeting dreams. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon when, as I was idly scrolling through my messages on a quiet corner of my cluttered desk, I noticed a ping unlike any other. The sender's name was obscured by a series of cryptic symbols, a name that seemed to exist in a realm between code and art, and the message itself was wrapped in layers of digital secrecy. The text read, "Elysium awaits. Confirm your attendance for tonight's rendezvous. Lavish dinners. Private encounters. Details within." At first, I sat frozen, unsure if my eyes were deceiving me or if some elaborate prank had taken hold. My heart thudded in my chest as I reread the message, its precise wording beckoning me to step away from the banalities of my daily routine. There was something mesmerizing about the terse invitation, as if the sender had tapped directly into a hidden desire deep within me, a desire to escape the confines of my predictable world and taste the forbidden fruit of mystery and luxury. For weeks, I had led a life measured by deadlines, routine meals, and the sterile glow of office screens. I was an accountant by trade, a creature of habit, with evenings spent in quiet isolation, my only companions the well-worn pages of novels and the soft hum of the city outside my apartment window. But the allure of that message was irresistible, a spark that ignited a dormant part of my soul that yearned for adventure, for a life unburdened by the safe, predictable patterns of my past. Without fully comprehending the ramifications of my decision, I replied with a simple "confirm," and in that instant, my ordinary existence began to unravel. The response was almost immediate. A new message arrived, its tone both formal and intimate, as though it were delivered by a trusted confidant. It contained detailed instructions, an address for a secret getaway, directions to a secluded villa known only to a select few, and a schedule outlining a series of lavish dinners and private encounters designed to awaken every sense. I stared at the screen, trying to absorb every detail, my mind simultaneously racing with excitement and trembling with apprehension. The instructions were clear: arrive by 8 p.m. tonight. Follow the hidden markers along the route. Tonight, you will dine as royalty and meet those who cherish the beauty of secrecy. Do not share these details with anyone. That night, I felt a mix of exhilaration and fear as I prepared for my journey. I rummaged through my closet, selecting an outfit that was both elegant and understated, a navy blazer paired with a crisp white shirt and tailored trousers. My reflection in the mirror looked back at me with a cautious optimism, as if aware that the night held transformative promises. I applied minimal makeup, the kind that enhanced rather than masked, and when I finally stepped outside, the cool night air embraced me like a whispered secret. The city had changed by nightfall. Streets that were busy during the day took on a mysterious quality under the luminescence of neon signs and street lamps. I hailed a rideshare, the vehicle's interior bathed in soft amber light, and gave the driver the address printed in my message. As the car wound through narrow side streets and obscure alleys, I clutched my phone, periodically checking the encrypted chat for any further instructions. The silence inside the car was punctuated only by the gentle hum of the engine and the rhythmic patter of rain against the windows, a symphony that seemed to herald the unknown. Eventually, the car pulled up before a discreet building tucked away between modern glass structures and crumbling brick facades, a hidden gem that could easily be missed by those not in the know. The building's exterior was nondescript, its unassuming facade belying the opulence that I sensed lay within. I paid the fare with trembling hands, stepped out into the cool night, and approached the entrance with a mix of hesitation and determination. A subtle plaque near the door bore an emblem, a stylized phoenix rising amid intricate flourishes, and I knew, almost instinctively, that I had arrived at my destination. Inside, the atmosphere was otherworldly. The lobby was a seamless blend of modern minimalism and classical opulence, with marble floors, sweeping chandeliers, and a hush that felt reverential. A slender receptionist, her eyes calm and knowing, greeted me with a quiet smile. "Welcome," she said softly, her voice carrying an accent that hinted at far-off lands. "We have been expecting you." Without any further ado, she handed me a small envelope sealed with wax, and I recognized that this was the next piece of my unfolding puzzle. Opening it carefully, I discovered a handwritten note: "Tonight, let the journey begin. Follow the golden light. Your first destination awaits at the Lumiere Lounge." I left the lobby, following a corridor that opened onto a softly lit patio. The air was heavy with the fragrance of night-blooming flowers, and a series of discreet golden lanterns lined the path, guiding my way. Each step felt like crossing a threshold between the known and the mysterious. Outside, the Lumiere Lounge beckoned, a chic, intimate venue tucked away on a quiet street, its entrance adorned with subtle, artistic carvings and a warm glow that invited only those willing to embrace the extraordinary. Upon entering the lounge, I was greeted by an ambience of quiet sophistication. Soft music played in the background, a haunting melody that mingled with hushed conversations and the clink of fine glassware. The decor was an exquisite mix of contemporary art and vintage accents, plush seating, abstract sculptures, and walls adorned with delicate tapestries. I was led to a private table by a courteous host who glanced briefly at a digital tablet before nodding in acknowledgement. "Your reservation is confirmed," he said. "Please, enjoy your evening." As I sat down, a sense of anticipation swelled within me. The table was set for a lavish dinner, a meticulously arranged feast that promised culinary delights and a series of courses, each more enticing than the last. Before the first course arrived, my phone buzzed again, this time with a new message in our encrypted chat. The message was simple yet potent: "Await your companion. The night is young, and secrets are meant to be shared." I glanced around, half expecting to see someone approaching, yet the lounge remained a cocoon of quiet elegance and anonymity. It wasn't long before a figure appeared, a man whose presence was both enigmatic and inviting. He wore a tailored suit that fit him like a second skin, his eyes a deep shade of hazel that seemed to hold stories of adventures and hidden sorrows. Approaching my table with measured grace, he introduced himself simply as Marcus. His voice was warm and resonant, carrying the assurance of someone who had navigated similar paths before. "I apologize for the delay," he said with a slight smile. "There were some complications. But I assure you, our evening together will be unforgettable." There was a fleeting intensity in his gaze, a spark that hinted at undisclosed depths. In that moment, I sensed that Marcus was not merely a fellow traveler in this secret escapade, but perhaps a kindred spirit, a mirror reflecting my own unspoken yearning for a life unbound by routine. The dinner progressed in a series of courses that were both sumptuous and surprising. The first dish, a delicate amuse-bouche, was a burst of flavor that evoked memories of summer gardens and sunlit afternoons. As we dined, Marcus and I exchanged stories, tentative at first, then growing in confidence as the soft lighting and the heady mix of wine and music loosened our inhibitions. He spoke of a past filled with hidden travels and clandestine meetings in cities I had only read about in old novels. I, in turn, recounted my own gradual realization that life was meant for more than monotonous routines and the safe confines of predictability. Our conversation was punctuated by moments of shared laughter and reflective silence, each pause laden with unspoken understanding. Between courses, our eyes often met across the table, each glance a silent promise of further revelations. The lounge itself seemed to respond to our connection, the soft strains of music growing more intimate, the ambient lighting casting a gentle glow that highlighted every nuance of our expressions. At one point, as the main course, a decadent, slow-cooked lamb dish accented with aromatic herbs and a delicate reduction, arrived at our table, Marcus leaned in slightly and said, "Sometimes, the most beautiful journeys begin with a single, unassuming message. Tonight is just the beginning." His words resonated deeply within me, stirring a cocktail of emotions that I could no longer contain. I nodded, feeling as though I were on the cusp of something transformative. After the final course, a lavish dessert that was as much a work of art as it was a treat for the senses, the encrypted chat on my phone buzzed once more. The message read, "Now, meet me at the Mirage Terrace. There, under the cloak of midnight, your next encounter awaits." Marcus excused himself briefly, murmuring that he had an urgent matter to attend to, and left me alone with my thoughts and the lingering taste of the exquisite meal. I sat for a moment, absorbing the richness of the experience, the interplay of flavors, the intimacy of the conversation, and the underlying promise of more to come. The Mirage Terrace was a hidden gem within the sprawling complex, a secluded outdoor space accessed via a narrow passageway draped in cascading vines and illuminated by soft, ambient lighting. I followed the discreet signs, my steps echoing in the quiet corridor as I made my way to this next destination. When I finally stepped onto the terrace, I was greeted by a breathtaking panorama of the city skyline, the lights below shimmering like a sea of stars against the velvet night sky. A gentle breeze caressed my skin, and the atmosphere was charged with an electric anticipation, as if the universe itself were holding its breath in expectation of what was to come. I found a secluded seating area arranged around a small, ornate fountain that gurgled softly, its waters catching the light and scattering it in a dazzling display. I settled into a plush chair and opened the encrypted chat, which now bore a final instruction: "Wait for your private encounter. Trust the night. Let your heart lead you." My pulse quickened as I scanned the terrace, the shadows playing across faces, every person a potential bearer of the secret I was meant to uncover. Minutes later, a figure emerged from the periphery, a woman whose presence exuded both mystery and gentle allure. She was dressed in a flowing, dark gown that shimmered with subtle hints of silver, her hair loosely cascading over her shoulders as if touched by moonlight. As she approached, her eyes locked with mine, and in that instant, it was as if the world had narrowed down to just the two of us. "Good evening," she said in a soft, lilting tone, extending her hand in greeting. "My name is Isabella. I've been waiting for you." There was a quiet authority in her voice, a sense that she carried the secrets of many hidden journeys within her. Isabella led me to a secluded corner of the terrace, where we sat in a circle of intimate candlelight. In hushed, earnest tones, she spoke of a clandestine network, a group of souls who gathered in secret, each meeting a carefully orchestrated escape from the confines of conventional life. She explained that the encrypted chat messages were not mere coincidences but deliberate invitations to those deemed ready to embrace a life of passion, mystery, and boundless possibility. "Every encounter," she murmured, "is a doorway to a deeper understanding of ourselves. Tonight, you have crossed that threshold." Her words stirred something profound within me, a blend of vulnerability and exhilaration that I had not felt in years. As the night deepened, the Mirage Terrace transformed into a realm of whispered confidences and intimate revelations. Isabella shared fragments of her own journey, tales of secret getaways in far-flung locales, of lavish dinners beneath starlit skies, and of private encounters that defied the rules of ordinary society. I listened, enraptured by her every word, feeling the layers of my own guarded heart slowly peel away. There was a raw honesty in her narration, a reminder that life's most transformative moments often arise from stepping boldly into the unknown, unburdened by the fear of what may be lost. For the remainder of the night, I found myself drifting between the realms of reality and reverie. The encrypted chat had guided me from one secret haven to another, each location meticulously chosen to evoke a cascade of sensory and emotional experiences. The lavish dinners had awakened in me a long-dormant passion for life's exquisite details. The mysterious, private encounters had stirred a deep, yearning curiosity about the parts of myself I had long kept hidden. In the interplay of shadows and light on the Mirage Terrace, amid the soft murmur of distant city sounds and the gentle rustle of leaves, I felt as though I were finally living a story that was uniquely my own. As the first hints of dawn began to pale the edges of the night, Isabella and I exchanged a final, lingering glance. Without a word, she pressed a small, elegant card into my hand, a promise of future encounters, a silent invitation to continue on this path of secret getaways and clandestine delights. With the warmth of that touch still lingering on my skin, I returned to my suite, my mind and heart alive with possibilities. Lying in bed that morning, the memory of the encrypted chat message still vivid in my thoughts, I realized that my life had irrevocably changed. I had tasted a fragment of a world where passion and mystery reigned supreme, a world where lavish dinners and private encounters were not mere fantasies, but tangible, transformative experiences. And though I knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with both wonder and uncertainty, I welcomed it with an open heart, ready to embrace every secret invitation that crossed my path. This was only the beginning, a prologue to a much larger narrative of discovery and transformation. The encrypted chat messages, the hidden getaways, the sumptuous dinners, and the mysterious private encounters were all pieces of a puzzle, each one a stepping stone toward a life lived with unbridled passion and authenticity. In that secret night, illuminated by candlelight and whispered promises, I had discovered that sometimes, the most profound adventures begin with the simplest of messages, a few carefully chosen words that dare us to dream, to risk, and to ultimately, transform ourselves. As I closed my eyes and drifted off into a light, tentative sleep, I vowed to remember every detail, every sensation of that extraordinary night. I would carry with me the warmth of every intimate moment, the thrill of every clandestine meeting, and the hope that, in the vast tapestry of life, there was always another secret waiting to be unveiled. And so, with the promise of future adventures echoing in my heart, I embraced the dawn as a symbol of endless possibility, a reminder that every encrypted message, every hidden invitation, is a key to unlocking the extraordinary depths of our souls. I awoke the next day with a mind swirling with the vivid memories of that secret night, a night of whispered promises and hidden rendezvous that had irrevocably altered the way I saw myself. The small, elegant card Isabella pressed into my hand still lay on my bedside table, its embossed lettering a constant reminder that I was now part of a world where every moment was imbued with possibility. Even as the early morning light crept through my window, painting the walls with soft hues, I felt the pull of the unknown tug at my heart, urging me to continue the journey that had been set in motion by that encrypted chat message. In the days that followed, I returned to my daily routines with a new lens. Every interaction, every mundane task, was now touched by the memory of the lavish dinners, the discreet meetups, and the private encounters that had unfolded like a secret film in the darkness of night. My colleagues at work noticed a subtle change in me. I spoke more freely about my passions, smiled more readily, and even began to share little anecdotes about a life that, just a week ago, I had thought was confined to spreadsheets and quiet evenings alone. It was as though a dormant part of me had been awakened by those clandestine moments, and now I was compelled to honor that spark. One evening, as I was leaving the office and the sun was dipping low, I received another encrypted message on my phone. Its subject line was brief: "The next chapter awaits." My heart pounded as I opened the message. This time, the instructions were more elaborate. It detailed a new secret getaway, a private villa in a coastal town renowned for its secluded beaches and timeless charm. The message promised that, over the course of the weekend, I would be invited to attend a series of intimate gatherings. One would be a lavish dinner under a canopy of stars on the beach, another an art-filled soiree in a hidden gallery carved into ancient cliffs, and yet another a midnight swim in a crystalline lagoon. Every sentence was written in a language that fused elegance with enigma, urging me to cast aside all reservations and step fully into this unfolding narrative of desire and rediscovery. That very evening, as I sat in the quiet comfort of my apartment and reread the new message, I felt the familiar blend of excitement and trepidation ripple through me. I had already tasted a slice of the extraordinary, a glimpse into a realm where beauty and passion intertwined in unexpected ways, and now, here was the invitation to dive even deeper. I spent hours preparing for the journey, meticulously choosing an outfit that balanced casual refinement with the allure of mystery, a soft, cream blouse paired with tailored trousers, and a pair of comfortable yet elegant flats that would carry me effortlessly from one clandestine encounter to the next. My reflection in the mirror revealed a person I had almost forgotten existed, a person who craved adventure and embraced life's unpredictability. The train ride to the coastal town was long, and as I watched the familiar urban landscapes give way to rolling hills and finally, to the glistening expanse of the ocean, I felt a profound sense of transformation. Every mile carried me farther from the confines of my former life and closer to a horizon filled with the promise of uncharted experiences. I found myself lost in thought, replaying the images of the opulent resort, the blue parlor, and the mirage terrace from that unforgettable night. I recalled the intense, soulful conversations with Marcus, the tender, reassuring smile of Isabella, and the raw honesty that had pulsed through every moment. Each memory was a vivid brushstroke on the canvas of my evolving identity. Upon arrival in the coastal town, the salty breeze and the rhythmic crashing of the waves immediately enveloped me. I checked into a modest inn near the beach, a temporary resting place that felt like the antithesis of the lavish retreats I had experienced, yet it held its own kind of unpretentious charm. That night, I was to attend my first event, the dinner under the stars. I made my way to the designated location, a secluded cove where the beach met a natural amphitheater of rock formations. The path was lit only by the gentle glow of lanterns, their light mingling with the reflections of the moon on the ocean surface. As I stepped onto the beach, the scene that unfolded before me was nothing short of magical. Long tables were elegantly set up on the sand, draped with soft fabrics and adorned with small bouquets of wildflowers. Crystal glasses caught the moonlight, scattering prismatic colors onto the soft sand, while a gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and night-blooming jasmine. Guests, dressed in understated yet refined attire, gathered in small clusters, their voices a low murmur that blended seamlessly with the sound of the tide. I was greeted by a woman in a flowing, iridescent gown whose smile was both mysterious and warm. "Welcome," she said softly. "I'm Livia. We've been waiting for you." Her voice was musical, and the kindness in her eyes instantly put me at ease. I was led to a table near the center of the gathering, where a sumptuous feast was laid out. The dinner was a celebration of local flavors, fresh seafood, tangy citrus, herbs plucked from nearby gardens, and wines that seemed to capture the very essence of the sea and sky. As I sat down and began to eat, I couldn't help but notice that the conversations around me were imbued with an air of poetic spontaneity. Strangers spoke of their dreams and regrets with equal measure, and every smile and knowing glance hinted at shared experiences that transcended ordinary life. At one point, a gentle guitarist took the stage, his fingers coaxing a soulful melody from his instrument that seemed to speak directly to the heart. I felt as if I were suspended in a moment where every sense was heightened, the taste of food, the cool touch of the evening air, the soft notes of music, and the quiet hum of intimacy between souls. Throughout the dinner, I exchanged glances and whispered conversations with several guests. One such exchange was with a man named Raphael, whose eyes were deep pools of emotion and whose presence exuded a quiet confidence. Over the course of the meal, he shared stories of his own journey, a life that had been marked by loss and a long, arduous path toward reclaiming passion and purpose. His voice, low and resonant, carried the weight of experiences that I could only imagine, and as he spoke, I found myself opening up about the monotony of my previous existence, the quiet desperation that had lurked beneath the surface of my daily routine. In that exchange, I recognized a kindred spirit, someone who had taken a leap of faith and discovered that vulnerability could be the very key to unlocking one's true self. After dinner, as the feast gave way to soft conversations around flickering bonfires, I felt a sense of unity and belonging that I had never before experienced. The night was filled with moments of gentle laughter, tender exchanges, and the kind of reflective silence that speaks volumes. As the dinner wound down, an encrypted message arrived on my phone: "Prepare for the next encounter. Art awaits in the hidden gallery." I looked up from the bonfire, my curiosity piqued, and made my way along a narrow path that led away from the beach. The path wound through a grove of ancient trees until it opened into a small clearing where a collection of modern sculptures and abstract paintings was illuminated by soft, ethereal lighting. The hidden gallery was unlike any place I had ever seen. Every piece of art seemed to pulse with emotion, each sculpture and canvas capturing fleeting moments of passion and pain. A woman, whose name was revealed to be Colette, greeted me at the entrance. "Welcome to our sanctuary," she said, her voice both inviting and enigmatic. "Here, we allow art to speak the language of our souls. Tonight, you will see reflections of your own journey in these creations." As I wandered among the exhibits, I felt as though each piece was a mirror reflecting a different facet of my inner self, my hopes, my regrets, my hidden desires. I lingered in front of a painting that depicted a stormy sea, its turbulent waves echoing the tumult of my own emotions, and I was overcome with a sense of catharsis. Hours later, as the gallery's lights dimmed and I stepped back into the cool night air, I received yet another encrypted message: "Your next private encounter awaits by the lagoon. Follow the silver path." I took a moment to gather my thoughts before setting off once again, my heart pounding with anticipation. The silver path was marked by a series of subtle, shimmering markers that guided me through a labyrinth of narrow lanes and over a small, ancient bridge until I arrived at a secluded lagoon. The water was as clear as glass, reflecting the night sky with a crystalline precision that was almost surreal. There, on the banks of the lagoon, I found a small group of people gathered in intimate conversation. Among them was a soft-spoken man named Julian, whose eyes radiated warmth and kindness. He greeted me with a gentle nod and an inviting smile. "Welcome," he said. "Tonight, we celebrate the beauty of quiet connection." The group had arranged themselves in a circle around a modest fire, and as we sat together, the conversation turned to our deepest secrets, the regrets we carried, the dreams we dared not speak aloud, and the small moments of rebellion that had led us to this point. In that circle of strangers turned confidants, I felt a profound sense of liberation, as if the weight of unspoken expectations were melting away with every shared word. The hours passed in a gentle, almost timeless cadence, each moment filled with raw honesty and tender vulnerability. As the fire's embers glowed softly and the first light of dawn began to color the sky in shades of pink and lavender, I realized that I had been transformed by the journey of the past few days. I had tasted the sweetness of lavish dinners under starlight, the raw emotional intensity of art that spoke directly to my soul, and the profound intimacy of private encounters that broke down the walls I had long built around myself. Returning to the modest in that night, I felt a serene determination settle over me, a quiet promise that I would continue to embrace every secret invitation, every hidden encounter, as steps on the path to becoming the person I had always longed to be. I spent the early morning hours writing in my journal, capturing the vivid impressions of each experience, the sound of waves lapping against the shore, the taste of wine and whispered laughter, the feeling of soft moonlight on my skin. Each word I penned was a declaration of the new life unfolding before me, a life where fear gave way to passion, where the mundane was transformed into the extraordinary through the magic of connection and vulnerability. As the days turned into weeks, I found that the encrypted messages continued to appear sporadically, each one a doorway to yet another secret getaway, each one offering the promise of lavish dinners and mysterious, private encounters that beckoned me to explore further. I began to learn the language of this hidden world, a dialect of coded messages, discreet markers, and quiet, knowing glances exchanged among those who had chosen to live fully, beyond the limits of routine. I became a regular in these clandestine circles, forging deep bonds with individuals whose stories were as varied and intricate as my own. Each encounter left an indelible mark on my soul, a vivid reminder that life is an ever-evolving tapestry of passion, art, and intimate connection. One particularly memorable evening, I received an encrypted message that led me to a breathtaking cliffside villa overlooking a vast, turbulent sea. The villa was a masterpiece of modern design, its glass walls and sleek lines contrasting starkly with the rugged beauty of the natural landscape. Inside, I found an atmosphere of refined elegance and quiet introspection. A group of guests gathered in a spacious lounge, where soft, ambient music played and a masterful chef prepared a series of exquisite tasting menus designed to evoke the essence of the ocean itself. Over the course of the evening, as I savored dishes that combined the freshness of seafood with the delicate zest of exotic spices, I listened to the heartfelt stories of the other guests, tales of lost love, unexpected redemption, and the courage to pursue one's true desires. In that moment, I understood that every secret getaway was not just an escape, but a pilgrimage, a journey inward as much as it was an exploration of the world outside. By the time I returned to my daily life after that cliffside escape, I was forever changed. The encrypted messages, the lavish dinners, the mysterious private encounters, they had opened my eyes to a world that lay just beyond the surface of everyday routine. I carried the warmth of those experiences with me, a constant source of inspiration and a reminder that life's most profound transformations often begin with a single, daring step into the unknown. Now, as I sit at my desk in the quiet hours of another early morning, the echoes of those secret getaways resonate within me like a cherished melody. I have learned that the universe is not a cold, indifferent place but a vibrant tapestry woven from threads of possibility, passion, and quiet rebellion. Every encrypted message that appears on my screen is an invitation to embrace the extraordinary, to taste the forbidden fruit of life's hidden pleasures, to dare to be vulnerable, and to transform the mundane into something miraculous. The journey continues, each new secret invitation a call to rediscover who I truly am. I look forward to the next encounter, the next lavish dinner, and the next moment of intimate connection that will enrich my life and fuel my desire to live boldly. With every step I take, I honor the truth that our lives are defined not by the routines we cling to, but by the risks we take and the wonders we allow ourselves to experience. And so, I remain ever vigilant, eagerly awaiting the next encrypted message that will unlock another door, reveal another secret, and lead me deeper into the boundless, mysterious tapestry of existence.